I was just talking to the guy who got out of that car. He seems pretty cool. He said he was thinking somebody would have killed Trudeau by now. Old car, flew off the road, upside down, and they just left it there? Huh, maybe. Alright, you guys, the moon's in Aries now, and yesterday it squared Venus. That was an irritable peak, and it was a taste of what's coming later today, later tonight, tomorrow morning, wherever you live, depending on your time zone. Since the moon is in Aries now, it is going to square Mars as well. And we all know around here that moon square Mars is fucked. And on that point, while I'm here in the Aries moon, I would like to say that I'm really sick of shit lib astrologers kissing ass to this fucking weird tranny agenda bullshit, trying to get all of our children hooked customers for life on fucking hormones and puberty blockers and surgery and medical intervention when they're fucking children. And it really pisses me off that people would even give them the time of fucking day. You love who you love. This has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with some creepy, freakish agenda where they are actually harming the children right now, every fucking day, running gender clinics and taking tiny little children and putting them on puberty blockers, possibly sterilizing them for life, and then fucking up their bodies with mutilating surgery. And I am really sick of fucking other astrologers saying that that's okay and that they just want equality. This has everything to do with fucking over our fucking children. They are mutilating children right now and poisoning them and making them sterile for life. So I'm sick of this bullshit. What's it fucking called? PC correct. Cancel me. I don't care. I was already canceled because of this, because of my fucking attitude towards this. Because when I see something that's unfair and sick and fucking twisted and fucking hurting babies, I fucking say something. So yeah, you're going to find a bunch of pussy astrologers who don't even want to say that, you know, a certain sign is masculine and a certain other sign is feminine, because that might offend someone. Get over it. Get the fuck over it. So yeah, moon's in Aries right now, and it squared Venus yesterday. It was a little bit of a peak of annoyance, you know, things to do with Venus and the moon, home and women and finances and possessions, mothering maybe, war at home maybe, war with a mom perhaps. Maybe just your feelings and what you love wasn't in line. Maybe you just had one of those moments where you felt unlovable or similar. Just put those words together. And for you personally, it's going to be over certain houses. Wherever you have Aries, wherever you have Cancer, those things are highlighted right now in your life, over your chart. So it'll be your first house, second house, third house, etc. So the moon is in Aries right now, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and the moon rules Cancer, and that's where Mars is. Mars, ruled by Aries, is actually in Cancer right now. So they have this relationship right now going on, coming to a peak tonight, later today, or at whatever time zone you're in. They have this peak coming where Aries wants to be where Mars is. The moon wants to be where Mars is right now. And Mars wants to be where the moon is right now. So it's a jealousy thing even. It's them feeling unequal. So these houses in your chart, these areas in your life, you might be feeling that pull, you know, where one is Aries and one is Cancer, and they're just not happy there. They don't feel content. So where you have those, you might be having those issues come up. Something doesn't feel content. Something is building a tension, building up pressure, and it's going to explode. That's how the moon square Mars works. So that is coming up tonight. And it's not just that. The reason I'm making it into a video right now is I haven't been making very many videos lately because I don't really have anything. You know, I did the Agenda 2030 video and I stick by that, and that is, I didn't even add most of the things in there because I just wanted to show the overall cycle and how it fits so well with their Agenda 2030 and with their goals that they have. So we'll probably see peaks around then, which was 2020, 2025, and then the solstice of 2029. when Jupiter is opposed to Saturn and it's Taurus Scorpio. That to me is this all wrapped up. So all the little things in between there don't really matter to me, except for this. I wanted to point this out because this is one of those peaks that could lead to that Jupiter op Saturn feeling that we have in 2025. The warish sort of chart that's going on right now that we see all around us. The reason I'm bringing this video in right now is because that moon in Aries is going to be with Jupiter in Aries when it squares Mars, because Mars and Jupiter are square again right now. So it's a off the charts peak of tension building right now. Actually, off the charts. Mars is going to square that Jupiter in Aries. So now the moon is there. So you see the moon, that's where the moon's coming from to square Mars with Jupiter. So it's not just the moon in Aries, it's moon with Jupiter. It's this gigantic fucking expression of fire, of feelings coming out, aggressive feelings. Just word those together. Look up Cancer, look up the moon, look up Mars, look up Jupiter, look up the square. And then we can throw Pluto in there too, because Pluto's also there. Pluto is 0 Aquarius, so it's the, we count that in the square. It's a T-square. So we have Mars opposite to where Pluto is right now, at the end of Capricorn, beginning of Aquarius. And we have Mars in Cancer, the opposite of that. And then Jupiter in Aries. So the moon's going to join with Jupiter while Mars is square it, and they're T-square with Pluto, and you can even count the nodes if you want and make it a grand cross where the whole board is involved. That is definitely a peak. So that is happening now already. And there's a little taste of it right now because the moon's going to be with Jupiter. It's going to be squaring. It's going to be activating that somehow. So I would even say somehow the events that are happening today, tomorrow, depending on where you live, what your time zone is, the events that happen right now somehow have to do with this square in the background going on, this T-square going on in the background with Mars and Pluto and Jupiter, because it's huge and it involves everyone because it's outer luminaries, so it's more of a whole Earth-wide vibe. And it's not good. I call the T-square of doom. And especially if it's got some Pluto or Scorpio in there, or Mars. Jeez, you guys, or even Saturn. But this one is something. It's a peak. That's all. I just wanted to warn you guys. So if you're looking at events and, linking stuff up, look over your own chart, but also be looking at world events, stuff that's happening out there, because this is somehow involved. And other than that, Jupiter's going into Taurus. That's my Jupiter sign, so it's going to have a nice return for me. My Jupiter return is obviously looking very Taurus so far with this garden. But yeah, that is, so from now until really the end of May, that's when this lasts. That's why it's big. That's why it's bigger. It's all over Earth and it's a longer transit. So keep your eyes peeled for that one, really, that the tension that's going to build up and explode somehow. It's explosive. Be safe out there, you guys. And my advice is always just keep working towards something, being productive, producing something. Producing something useful and practical. This is Taurus weather. Jupiter is hitting Taurus now. It's ideas, but it's putting ideas to practical use. It's using things. It's being useful. Using things is not a bad idea. That's how you eat. You go out and you find food and you use your hand to pick it and you use your mouth to chew it. But who's getting you that food? Who buys that food? Who works in your family? Who takes care of you? Who's contributing? Who's contributing useful things in your family dynamic? Is there somebody sitting there not helping? Somebody in the family capable of work and capable of using, their physical drive to help feed the family, and they're not doing it? That could be one of the things coming up right now. A war at home somehow. Are you contributing enough in your own family? What do you do? Who makes the money? Who feeds you? How can you do what you do? And also, how do you feel good about yourself if you're just letting somebody take care of you and not contributing?